to the Wellness and Growth podcast. And today we have virtually in studio Dr. Simone. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now this discussion is gonna be lit. Let me just say that. But before we get into it, let me just read a little short bio about Dr. Simone. Then we will get into the discussion. So Dr. Simone is a healthcare professional with a focus on holistic wellness and preventative medicine. With an MBBS degree from the University of the West Indies and a health and life coach certification from the Health Coach Institute, Dr. Simone's approach to wellness emphasizes the integration of conventional medicine with holistic practices, ensuring a well rounded approach to health and lifestyle management. Now, she provides personalized one on one coaching, group coaching sessions, and women's wellness retreats, all aimed at promoting overall well being and lasting health transformations. If you want to learn more, follow her on Instagram at Dr. Simone Quamina. I think I nailed it with the
Yes.
last name. Now, when I found you on LinkedIn, that's where I found Dr. Simone on LinkedIn. What stood out to me was that you said that you work specifically with busy women. that that was like I was like yes please, because it feels like such a struggle to get in a kind of like a healthy lifestyle when you just got so much going on. So I think hopefully those are one of the questions that we have going on. But that was the thing that drew me to you, because I feel like a lot of women, including myself, need help in that area. How to just, I guess, schedule your life so that you get all that, because it's like you all right, we gotta be like the good mom, the good wife, and then we gotta eat healthy, and then we gotta exercise, and then the hair gotta be on point, and the makeup gotta be on point, the clothes gotta look good. It's like so much, and I guess pressure that we put on ourselves, but also from society, to just make sure that we tick all these boxes that says, hey, look, this is what you need to do to be great in life and to have a good life and that kind of thing. And the matter of fact is, we we lost. We trying, we struggling. A lot of us barely trying to keep our heads above water day by day. I mean, it's literally just so many hours in a day. Anyway, so when I saw again your bio about what you do, I said, okay, I need to get you on this podcast because we need help. We need some help. So before we get into it, Dr. Simone, could you share what motivated you to transition from traditional medicine, right, to becoming a certified health and life coach? And what was that journey like for you?
So my journey, I would say if I were to divide it into two parts, it would be my own personal and then professional as well. So on the personal side, I had to navigate those same things you just mentioned, having a busy career, having a really hectic schedule, and being able to have the time and the energy to take care of myself as well. So, as you can imagine, when I started, working as a medical intern, we work on call, we work at nights. And so that was a big transition for me. And unfortunately, during that time, all the habits that I had, built up to that point, in terms of my nutrition, exercising regularly, it kind of fell to the wayside because I was trying to keep my head above water, as you would have just said, right? So I would eat really late, skip lunch because I was just trying to keep up with the schedule and the demands of this new job that I had. And so I was constantly tired, and all I had the energy to do was just go to work and then come home and try to catch up on sleep, right? So I exercised when I could, but those habits that I wanted to stay consistent with, I didn't have that structure anymore. And so I left internship with digestive issues because I wouldn't eat on time. I was just burnt out and, the anxiety that comes with a job like that as well. So after that, I had to kind of figure out how to build back those healthy habits those wellness habits, that self care, that I had lost during that time. And of course, it took trial and error because I did it on my own, and I
Right.
had to figure out what I need to do, adjust as necessary. And so, after a few years, I was at the point where I got things back to where I wanted them to be. But of course, it took some time. So they say, if you realize, a lot of coaches, they end up helping people just like themselves, right? Who go through the
Yeah.
same thing. So, I think that's why I ended up in this niche, because I have the first-hand experience of trying to juggle all of those things. And
Right.
then on the professional end, after internship, I realized, okay, working in the hospitals wasn't something that I wanted to do long term. And so since then, I've pretty much worked privately in private
Mm-hmm.
clinics and that kind of thing. And that was really a gift, because it helped me to slow down and to really realize what people and my patients really need. And that's
Right.
why I found that gap, that okay, in the Caribbean, in Trinidad and the Caribbean as a whole, we have that challenge with lifestyle illnesses, the high blood pressure,
Yes.
diabetes, and a big part of the management of these conditions are lifestyle changes, the nutrition, exercise. And so, as doctors, we we recommend all those things, but it's the how. How how
Yes.
how do I
It's
start?
true.
How do
It's
I
true,
start?
right?
How do I continue doing this?
I hear you about the eight glasses of water a day. I hear you. But then how do you start? How do you make that a habit?
Yes. How do I, even start from today or tomorrow to incorporate these things into my lifestyle and to continue it long term? And I felt that, of course, we learn so much during medical school, but that's something that we don't particularly, go really in depth on, because there's so much we have to learn as well. And one of the drawbacks of being in the public system as well, because the patient load, there's so many patients to see, and you don't get the time to slow down and to really go through these things with patients as well. And so, my experience in private practice allowed me to, find that gap and to fill it as well. And, with my personal experience and the professional side of things, where I realized, okay, this is where I see a gap, this is where I see a need, I decided to get my certification in health and life coaching. And it helped me, one, with my own personal health and wellness journey, and to fine tune things. It gave me language for the things that I was doing. And then it gave me the skills to be able to help my patients. And then outside of my patient, other women as well, be able to focus on their habits as a way to, maintain these lifestyle changes in the long run.
Yeah. I think it's a good marriage actually of, medicine because you have that background. So I guess the medical, what's happening medically with women. And so then you're able to recommend or suggest and work with your clients for like the best kind of, I guess, schedule routine that would be for them. So that's really good. And kudos on you for leaving a situation that was unhealthy for you, right? That takes a lot of guts because women, especially when you finish university, like we've been conditioned to be like, you finish study, now it's time to get a job. And you stay in this job until you're dead, right? That's just how it goes, right? So you retire, you get your retirement, and then because as you know, like when you hear about entrepreneurship, people automatically think that you can be poor, right? And you can be hustling and you can be struggling the rest of your life, right? So some of us decide, well, we can just like take whatever and keep the job even though it's stressing us out and that kind of thing. So again, just kudos on you for making that step and also finding something that you are passionate about and that you believe that you could help and just make a difference, right? So kudos on you on that.
it's in the same realm, and this is what I enjoy doing now. And then she started to talk about how she really wanted to be a masseuse and to go into massage therapy. And it was like, it just brought to light that, so many of us, we kind of, we project
Yes.
what we wish we could, have the courage to do as well. So even though she was kind of judging me on that end from, making a transition, she herself, had, dreams and wants that, she wished she could, yeah, to do something else or to add on to whatever she was doing. So I think it's a lesson to kind of not really internalize what other people say about transition. Just do what you do, and for the most part, you inspire other people to do the same.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I do remember having conversations with other women that you say it was kind of similar. And I asked them, especially when I quit my job to start my own digital marketing agency. Did I get any? No, actually, a lot of my friends and my family were quite supportive of it. And when I had conversations with some women, yeah, most of them expressed like this desire to just do something else. Like they have like this passion, this dream within them to to do something that's completely different from what they're doing now, right? And they just don't know, and it just stops there. I guess it just stops as a dream. They don't know how to yeah, just like transition from the 9 to 5 to just pursue their dreams. So I am always like a big supporter of people who not saying anything is wrong with staying where you are, because you gotta do what you gotta do. You got bills to pay, that kind of thing. And some people are afforded the luxury of, quitting their job and just starting to make money right away from their entrepreneurship journey, while others might have to struggle for a little bit before they start making income. So I understand both positions, but I'm just it just see it is a bigger risk, and I see that as like super kudos for when you take that risk and you take a chance on yourself and your dreams and aspirations. So, can you discuss how your medical training complements your health coaching, particularly when dealing with complex health issues in women? Because I'm assuming that everybody is just, I guess, want to lose weight, but then, of course, there are other cases where they do have some sort of medical issues. And so, how does your background in medicine complement then your health coaching?
So for two things that come to mind when I went with this, is asking the right questions. So, as a doctor, you if you yeah we ask a whole lot of questions because it's really like you're doing an investigation to find out, okay, these are the symptoms, what is the possible diagnosis, right? So you're doing, and so the questions is, it's super important, and it's a valuable skill to have, as a clinician. And so the same applies to a coach. We're not coming to a diagnosis as a coach, but the questions are there to help you uncover possibilities and help you come to awarenesses that you may not have, really thought about before. So being able to, I think a skill that I was able to kind of transfer from being a doctor to coaching has been, asking the right questions, and the use of powerful questioning. Another thing, that, as you spoke about the complex medical issues, knowing when to refer and knowing when to ask for help, right? So,
Right.
as a general practitioner, one of our biggest responsibilities is to know when a patient needs someone else, another specialist, someone in another area of expertise that you can come in and help them as best as possible. And so, in my health coaching practice, I help a specific person with a, specific need and desire and struggle. And so, when I talk initially with clients and during the coaching process as well, with my experience before as a GP, I'm able to, through the discussion we have, if there's, I'm hearing a need, that comes up, and be like, oh, well, I know a doctor who can help with that. I know
Right.
another health professional, it may not be a doctor, another health professional that may help, and maybe it's a therapist, or a sense in need for therapy, or maybe it's a workout class in your area, you know.
Right. Right.
So those that skill of be kind of listening and knowing, and being able to suggest and recommend things,
Right.
because a person, there's so, as you say, complex person. People are complex. Their different needs at different
True.
times. So,
True.
being able to know when to ask for help and to refer, and to bring in another area of expertise is an important thing that I was able to transfer as well. As you mentioned, weight loss. A lot of people, they come to me. We all at some point in our life, desire to lose weight. But in my practice, um, even though that may be a focus for a lot of my clients, or it may be something that they desire, what I really try to focus on is the habit, right?
Right.
Um, and so what I believe is, even if once you stay consistent with a habit, whether it's with nutrition, exercise, the weight loss is just one part of the result, right? So once you stay consistent, then the weight loss and all the things will come. So weight loss isn't really a focus or a result, I promise. Of course, if that's a result that you want, the habits that we develop, it's gonna come, right? So that's the way I kind of steer things and focus on when it comes to my health coaching in particular.
I guess following off of that, in your coaching, you focus on helping women build healthy habits around food, movement, and self care. Now, we want to know, Dr. Simone, what are some of the key strategies you employ to help your clients achieve sustainable lifestyle changes? Because for me, especially through the years, like you maybe you got an event. I know for my wedding specifically, I went ham on the exercising, on the eating health and everything because I wanna, look snatch in the wedding dress. And then after that, at the honeymoon, it gone downhill from there and then, right? And then of course, like throughout the years, like I tried um, to get back on the health journey, but nothing really stuck. So I think maybe that might be a problem that others might be facing. So how what strategies, yeah, do you employ to help your clients achieve like that sustainable lifestyle change?
So if I was to think about it in like a step by step to make it, easy to digest, what I start off with is gaining clarity. What is it that you want to achieve, and really being honest about it as well. And besides, gaining clarity in terms of goals, why is it that you want to achieve, XYZ when it comes to your health and wellness? This goes a long way, because a lot of times we can have a goal, and it's because we see other people, it's something that we think we should do, and then that plays a role in terms of how consistent you are, because if this is someone else's, dream or desire, but it's not really yours, then it's not likely that this is going to be something that you're going to pursue long term. So really being clear about what you want and why you want it, because that why is important, when things get hard, when things get a little difficult. Let's come back to why it is we're doing all of this in the first place. Is it that I want to have a good quality of life, to be around for my children? That deep, you know, really why.
Not that you want to look good for Kaduma.
That could be a reason as well. You just want to look good, but there's a deeper thing with that as well. You want to look good because you want to your confidence, you want to increase your confidence, it goes deeper than that as well. So that is a valid reason as well, but we just want to get to the deepest why so that we can really connect to that when we're on the journey. So clarifying and really, looking into your why and your motivation. Another thing that I think helps with sustainability is really determining what's right for you and your
Right.
lifestyle and what's going on right now. So, you want to choose habits and routines that fit into, what your schedule, what your lifestyle looks like. So, choosing exercise routine that or let me not use that example. Another example may be that you want to go to the gym, but the closest gym to you it's an hour away, right?
Right.
That may not be the best choice. That may not be the best habit because you have to drive an hour to get to there. So you see how your sustainability might be affected, right?
Yes.
So really looking at what your lifestyle, what the things you have going on, what your environment, to be able to choose habits and routines that work well for you, right? And that goes for nutrition, movement, self care, all of those things, right? Another thing that I think helps with sustainability as well, apart from the strategy and picking the right habits and goal setting, is really and looking at your thoughts and maybe some beliefs around health and wellness, right? We come in to the journey with maybe some negative thoughts about your health and wellness, maybe from past experiences that you have. A lot of us think this health and wellness thing needs to be something difficult, right?
It's true.
Yeah, you go into it thinking it's difficult. And so that's the experience that you would get, right? So we want to kind of address maybe reasons for why things may not have worked in the past, maybe negative beliefs you have about what this health and wellness thing needs to be or how it should look, right? All of those things affect how we show up and the behaviors that we have. So really bringing awareness to that is important as well for sustainability and long lasting change. And I think that's most of where the transformation occurs, the way we think about this health and wellness thing.
That's true because for me, when you think about eating healthy, all I can think about is salads and water.
Yeah, and that's not a great thought. It's
And
not a
I
great.
I can't eat shrimp anymore. Like I can't have you know what I mean? Like as soon as you think about healthy and losing weight and that kind of thing, you start to think like I can no longer enjoy, especially me as a foodie. I can no longer enjoy the food that gives me life. So the mentality around it, yeah, definitely, definitely. And then I know we have like a talk about like a cheat meal and that kind of thing to kind of like balance it out. And then like so then maybe some women will be like, okay, I could do this if I could at least have one meal that I enjoy. So I assume there's ways to still eat what you love to eat, but kind of maintain that healthy lifestyle without going too far and that kind of thing. And then some women is stress eat, and especially around your period as well. You start getting cravings for things, sweet things, chocolate, and like your diet could be a little messed up, especially around that time. And then again, like anything stressful comes up. Some women don't eat, you know what I mean? When their mind is kind of occupied with like different issues and that kind of thing. So that is an interesting perspective that you should take when you're looking at, I guess, a holistic kind of lifestyle change. So that leads me into the next questions, right? So you highlighted the importance of therapy and other wellness services in conjunction with your health coaching. So how do you integrate these services into your practice just to provide that comprehensive care?
As I would have mentioned, during the coaching process, some initially when I have my first conversation, I'm always, if there's the need, people ask or I suggest, other uh, health professionals in terms of coming on board with, um, to help and to provide the best care possible. I always do that on an ongoing basis. And that's one of the beautiful things about coaching is that it works well with any other. Because it's at its core, it's all about implementation, right? So you can come to me with the doctor who just told you to lose weight, or the doctor who just said, you need to eat better, and we figure out how you're gonna do that and to take you from A to B, right?
Right.
So it works well with other services as well. So that's something that I continuously do and integrate, in my coaching. And one thing that's really helpful as well is because I worked, as a GP, I would have had my own kind of list of people and specialists and stuff that I
It's like
can
you
still,
on Rolodex.
yeah,
People
that I
still
can
got
still
Rolodexes. So
that
you're
I
like,
could still, I'll be like, oh, I used to refer, yeah, I would refer people to this person. Let me tell you about this person. So it's good in that way to be resourceful. And then another thing is, um, as you would have mentioned in my bio, I have the women's wellness retreats as well, and that's where do sort of a bigger collaboration with other health professionals. So it's around a theme, and so the aim of it is to expose my community to other health professional and other services that would be helpful to them as well. So they come to this event and you see maybe a therapist speaks about some particular issue, and if you really connect with that person, you contact them afterwards if that's something that you want to do. So that's a way that I integrate it into my services as well.
okay, okay. So is that like a conference or a thing? Because when I think in retreat, I'm thinking, 5-star hotel.
We want to go, we want to reach to that level. We're not quite there yet, but it's a for now it's a day event. It's in a nice venue, and it's all inclusive, and we have these sessions, yeah. So that's where we are right now, but of course we want to make, of course the aim is for it to be in 5-star hotels and
Let's relax for the and weekend. Let's relax for the weekend, and we hear about health and we get pampered and all that. That's what when I think retreat, wellness retreat. That's what I'm thinking. Sitting down doing yoga by the pool, with an amazing view. That's in my head. That's what the internet sells to me. So that's what I'm gonna go. Now you mentioned that becoming a health coach has allowed you to live limitlessly. Could you elaborate on how this career has changed your personal outlook or lifestyle?
in terms of it really opened my eyes into how much you can curate your own career. I think, a lot of us, especially, well, I could speak about in the medical field and that kind of thing. You go to medical school, you become an intern, you work either, in a hospital or in a private clinic. But the what I realize is that the number of skills that we learn during medical school is 5 years of us learning and picking up on things. There's so many ways that you can be helpful and be of service to people.
Right.
That's outside of the hospital environment or the private clinic environment. Of course, that's amazing because we always need doctors and stuff in those spaces. But if that is something that you don't desire um, to pursue, then there's so many skills that you would have learned during that time and things that you can add on to it as well to be able to
Right.
kind of form your own career and based on what you like and what comes easy to you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think this path has really allowed me to be creative, and that's something that's, coming into medical school, I didn't think, it wasn't something that I really thought about, and being creative as a doctor or medic or health professional. And so
Right.
it has opened my eyes to that. And I always, I'm happy when people say that they may have started off in a particular degree or particular path, and this is where they are now, and they able to see where there's a gap, see what things come to them easily and be able to be of service in a way that fulfills them as well. So I think that has been the biggest thing, how, in terms of changing my outlook on life and that kind of
That's
thing.
yeah. That's pretty good. I well, fun fact, I wanted to do medicine when I was in secondary school. Yes, I wanted to be a pediatrician specifically, and I was inspired by my own pediatrician. Um, and now I'm in marketing. So it was a windy road to where I'm at, but I do feel like this path allows me to be, as you mentioned, creativity, as creative as I want to be, because it just has all the different elements. Meeting and talking to people in graphic design and problem solving is like the biggest thing, which is what I love to do. So it's interesting to hear you say that. Like it's and it goes to show that like you don't have to. Yes, you study that, and yes, it's like, oh, all these years studying this thing,
Yes.
right? But it really, at the end of the day, right? It really matters about you and what you enjoy doing and what you want to do with your life, right? It's your life,
Yeah.
right? So just like do the things that make you happy, and of course, get you money, yes, but
Yes.
also make you happy. If we can
Yeah.
marry the two of those things, then we good to go.
Yeah. And it's possible. It's possible.
Yes, it is possible. It is possible, even if it is like a part of like a bigger, I guess, career. Like, say you like meeting people, so then you get into sales, but you don't particularly like sales. But then you can make it into you, what you're comfortable with and what you're comfortable doing, and how you engage with people. So it doesn't come off as salesy, textbook salesy, but it's just you interacting with people and you doing it your way and hopefully loving what you do, right? Can you, I guess, discuss or share with us women some micro habits, right, that you would recommend for, I guess, starting and building and maintaining some kind of healthy lifestyle? Any kind of micro habits that you think, hey, you could start doing this? Like, I know people would say, hey, instead of taking the elevator, walk the stairs. I mean, in Barbados we don't really have a lot of elevators, so it's like that doesn't really apply. But like any other, I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind. But any little micro habits that um, we hear a lot over the years, but like any micro habits that you recommend to like start um, having like a just like a maintaining and balancing a healthy lifestyle.
When I did my coaching certification, uh, they used to say a lot, small hinges swing big doors. And I think that's nice that you asked that question because, when we start the journey and we get excited, we often start big, right? We make these big, really extravagant and sometimes overwhelming habits and goals and that kind of thing. But it's really these small things that really make the difference and help us to stay consistent. So if
Yeah.
I was to think, in terms of in each category that I work toward, it's nutrition,
Hmm.
it's exercise and self care. Uh, when it comes to nutrition, I think a good micro habit or something that you can start right away is always drinking water, staying
Mm-hmm.
hydrated, keeping your bottle in sight at all times,
Right.
having it on the desk with you, in the car with you, if you're in the car, wherever you are for most of the day, keeping that bottle there. So at least it's in sight, seeing it as a trigger to be able to have, your water as well. A lot of, and especially where we live, we need to have that extra water as well. So that's always great for your nutrition. So I think that's a good micro habit to start there. When it comes to exercise, you don't have to go to the gym to be able to get the results you want. Something is simple as walking. Is good. Even if it's for 15 minutes. If you're going from not exercising at all, 15 minutes a few times a week makes a big difference as well. Even if it's less than that, you know,
Right.
designated time. Maybe it's around your home. You don't have a park or some kind of open field that you can go to walk. If you have that, great, you can use that as well. But even if you have just around your home to walk, that's something really small that you can start off with. That can really help and make a big difference in the long term. And then with self care, I think for me, one thing that I recommend in terms of self care is to make it normal. You know, when you think of self care, you think, oh well, I have to. It's something a big event or something special that I do to treat myself, right?
Right.
Making it a part of your daily, and it doesn't have to be a spa day to be self care. It could just mean I just take half an hour to sit in my porch and people watch.
Yes. Oh, I love a good people watching.
I just, just take half an hour to just think and do nothing. That can be a little difficult, especially if you're accustomed to going all the time. But it's making those small things that you enjoy and that relax you a part of your daily routine. You don't have to wait till the weekend to do it. You can make it a part of your daily um, routine. So those are the things that I would recommend. Of course, with the habits, it just depends. I take a more of a personalized approach. So a micro habit may differ from person to person, what will work for you. But, if I was to pinpoint some examples from each category, those would be.
Okay. Yeah, that is helpful. I remember me trying to drink more water. I actually downloaded a water reminder app.
If that works for you, you download it and it helps. Well,
It
if
did.
it
It did
doesn't, well,
not work for me. It did not work for me. I'd be like, wait a minute, let me finish send off this email, and then I will get this sip, and then I forget, and then like the next time, and then I down in all the water at the end of the day, or trying to like hit that target because like you're like, okay, I need to drink this much water today, and oh, I failed, so let me just down all the water, which again is not a sustainable thing,
yeah.
especially if you don't like to drink water.
The great thing, I think, one of the other kind of mindset things that is helpful when it comes to health and wellness is okay when you try things and they don't work. You just try something else, right? That's fine. You just try until something sticks, something works. It's okay if it doesn't work initially. Maybe right now that app doesn't work, but you try it 6 months from now and it's helpful. You know?
Yeah, I guess we could try it again and see how it goes, and make it actually alarm. Maybe make it say something like "drink your water."
Yeah, make it shout at you.
Um, okay, well, off the heels of that, then, what are some of the common challenges that I guess in your practice that you would see that busy women face when it comes to maintaining your health, right? And then I guess as a follow up, then how do you help them overcome these obstacles?
Because I work with a particular person, I hear the same things over and over again. Um, People come with similar challenges, and I think that's important for us to know because sometimes you think I'm the only one going through this thing, and it's so many of us going through me, going through the similar things. So it's important that people realize I hear the same challenges, the same struggles over and over. So one of the things is relationship with time. Being busy, you get the complaint, oh, I just don't have the time. Um, I don't have enough time in the day to do everything. Really being able to manage time is something that is a common complaint. And, how I approach that, and it's an exercise that I actually do as well, is to kind of switch. There's someone that I follow on social media called Simplifying Sam. She's really good at mindset
That sounds familiar.
shift, yeah, mindset
Hmm.
shifts and that kind of thing. And she had a video one day where she talked about what if it wasn't about time and it was about energy? Because really, at the root of it, we just want the energy to do the things that we want to do in the day, right? So
Right.
really switching, okay, don't think about how much time I have. just think about having the energy to do the things that you want to do,
Right.
right? And so, what one of the things I really start off with is bringing awareness to where your energy is going every day and taking stock of that. Because sometimes you think, oh, I don't have the energy to fit in a meal, or I don't have the energy to fit in a workout. But then when you look at where your energy is going every day, maybe you're spending too much time doing something in particular, or you can say no to something to be able to fit in something else, and then a whole world of possibilities open up, right? So really bringing awareness to what's happening, what's actually happening in your day to day, and then seeing where there are possibilities, relieves that overwhelm, and then you start to take action because you say, okay, well, I could not stay 15 minutes extra during after work doing XYZ, and I could leave work on time so that I have that extra 15 minutes to do a workout, right?
Yeah.
So
Take a walk, like you say.
bringing awareness to, because sometimes we just go through the day to day and we don't really know what's happening really, right? So taking a step back and getting that picture is important. Um, so another thing that people deal with is, everything else seems to be more important, right? When it comes to health and wellness. And when I say, well, how I help people, one of the things I say is that I help them to make their health and wellness a priority, to put it at the top of your to-do list, right? So you say, I won't exercise so I could finish this project at work, right? And that becomes a habit as well. So um, I think one of the important things is to, just like that became a habit, it can also be broken and a new habit form. So really being aware of, when you start to do things like that, when it happens, and not judging yourself, but just taking note of it and seeing what you can do instead.
That's a big thing too, right? Because as soon as you put your mind to do something and perhaps you didn't get a chance to do it, perhaps something came up and you start to feel so bad. Oh, I was doing so well, and you know, and most of us tend to go backwards instead of forwards. Most of us
Yes.
tend to like, oh, I messed it up now, kind of thing.
You just throw away, yeah, all or nothing, right? That all or nothing. Yeah. So that goes into the next, in terms of the all or nothing, that leads to the inconsistency. You keep on falling off at particular points and that kind of thing. So, how I approach that is, you make things as easy as possible. You start small, you know, and letting go of that judgment as well when things don't work out, giving yourself grace, and that kind of thing helps in the long run, because you just don't, you say, okay, today it didn't work out as planned, but tomorrow we'll do it again.
Get back on it, try again. Yeah.
What ends up happening is that, if you don't make it as small as possible, say, okay, today, the plan is to do a 30-minute workout, but for some reason, things come up, maybe you spent a longer time at work, or there was traffic or whatever. You come home and you say, okay, well, I'm not going to do it at all. But what if you did it just for 5 minutes?
Ooh.
What if it was just 5 minutes? But imagine 5 minutes 3 times a week as opposed to half an hour, maybe every other week.
Yeah. Use what do they call it? Compounding. Compounding.
Yes.
So it keeps you moving regardless of if it's 5 minutes, like you say, or 20 minutes. So yeah, our time is going along so fast. We're saying a few.
Yes.
There's okay. So the one question, or the two questions I want to get in before we wrap up. Well, you emphasize the importance of hydration and healthy eating, right? Can you share alternative ways to stay hydrated? I know we talked about this off the podcast. Can you share some alternative ways to stay hydrated and some practical nutrition tips that busy women can easily incorporate into their daily routines? So, alternative hydration. Um, I guess, options, and then something, I guess, nutrition tips that busy women can incorporate. So for me, probably that might be like you have a yogurt, like having a yogurt every day, or maybe some nuts or something. I, I'm not speaking as a nutritionist, so I don't even know if this is right, but something like, yes, like you making sure that you do this every day, or you incorporate this type of food in your diet or something like that.
Actually, I was just reminded of this, hydration thing not too long ago, as I would have mentioned. I saw an article where they talked about, other ways that you can stay hydrated or have hydration other than water. And I think a lot of times, and even I forgot that, you know, even though, you may not have, met your water goal in terms of drinking for the day, you get a lot of hydration from the food you eat as well. And for the most part, fruits and vegetables give us a lot of hydration. You realize when you cook vegetables and that kind of thing, they spring a lot of water. That's because the water content is so high. So fruits like the melon, watermelon, other melons like cantaloupe, honeydew, oranges, grapes, all of those things, give us the hydration we need, and then it takes care of fiber as well, which is something that a lot of us we need
Yes.
as well. So even if you don't meet the exact water requirements every day, count in those fruits and vegetables that you have as well. And it's also a reminder to have the fruits and vegetables every day, because a lot of times we forget those in the diet as well, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's it. That's what I would recommend in terms of alternative things to drinking water as well.
Hmm.
And then when it comes to nutrition tips, this is something that I give to my coaching clients in the beginning as well, because I think it's really helpful. One thing I want to mention is that um, sometimes we, especially coming from a Caribbean perspective, um, when it comes to nutrition, we think, okay, well, I need to eat healthy. The things that I'm already having in my diet, like the local fruits, vegetables, the things that we cook, you can incorporate those into your diet and maintain balance and eat healthy as well. So you don't have to incorporate and Americanize meals and that kind of thing to be able to eat healthy. If you don't have asparagus close to you, you don't have
Asparagus.
to eat that.
I feel like
You
asparagus is so fancy. Asparagus. I'm having
know,
asparagus. It
we
actually
have
tastes
to,
really good.
yeah,
Actually, I quite
I'm
like
kind
it.
I'm trying to think if I've ever had it, but you don't have to have, things like that. We have so many vegetables and stuff available to us that we could have. And it's probably things that you're already having, but you just probably need to address in terms of portion and how you prepare it and that kind of thing. So one thing I wanted to, like a tip that I give to clients is like what we call the magic plates. I don't know if you would have heard about it before. It's something that I see on social media and stuff, but it's a way to put together a meal. So if you can imagine a plate or a circle, and how you can, place all your food groups in a balanced way, so that you maintain a balanced diet, right? So if you can imagine a third of the plate with your starchy vegetable or grain, rice, potatoes, whatever it is, a third protein, is that whether it's
A third protein.
yes, a third protein, whether it's your meat or a vegetarian option, and then a third your green vegetables. So that's your salad, whatever that looks like, right? And then I think a lot of people forget as well is your healthy fat that keeps us, satisfied, and it helps with digestion and that kind of thing, and helps to maintain cholesterol. So that's a way that you can ensure whether you're having preparing a meal for yourself, or you're at a buffet and you want to make sure that you stay on track. You can still
That's
have the
true.
things. You can still have the things in the buffet, but you can kind of be intentional with the way you put together your meal. And this can apply to any setting that you're in, right? So a third your starch, a third protein, and a third your green vegetables, your salad. Don't forget your salad, and then you have your healthy fat that comes with maybe avocado. Sometimes the healthy fat may come in the oils that we use to prepare, so you might get that. You
A
know,
little olive oil. Yeah.
yes, another source of healthy fats, nuts, and those things may come in your salad as well. Or your fat may come in your protein if you have fish and that kind of thing. So they may overlap at some times, but that is just to give you a general picture as to how you can prepare meals at home. And then even if you're not eating at home, because we eat out. We can't we don't want to pretend that we don't eat out. That's a way of life. So but even if you eat out, you can still, maintain balance as well and keep things going.
And we didn't know that the fancy restaurants, that they got portion control on some of these meals. So, fancy restaurants and let you overeat. So
Yeah, yeah. But if the thing is when the real test comes when you have choice, right? And the buffets and that kind of thing.
that's true. A buffet is, yeah, that's a big temptation there that I don't know.
I'm not about restriction and that kind of thing. You enjoy the things, but you can also be intentional, in terms of keeping things balanced as possible.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so I have a marketing question because I have to ask a marketing question.
Hold on.
That's what I do, right? So, what marketing strategies do you find effective for reaching these busy professional women, and then the platforms that you use? So let me wrap those two together. So, like, how do you get your clients? Pretty much is what I'm asking, and what platforms are the best for reaching them?
So I would have started my business during COVID. So social media was where I basically started. So I started on Instagram, and uh, I branched off to TikTok as well. I have a TikTok account, which I
Oh,
find is really good in terms of, because as opposed to Instagram, TikTok, you get to reach a lot of new people, daily. So, and then from my TikTok, I just direct them to Instagram, because Instagram, I hear people say Instagram is sort of like a kind of mini website, because it's where you kind of showcase curated, very nice looking material and that kind of thing. So TikTok is a way to kind of get to new people, and I just direct them to Instagram.
right.
So Instagram, TikTok, and I realized, and I think one of the reasons why it was really easy for you to find me on LinkedIn, because I really started to focus on LinkedIn, because that's where the professionals are, the busy women. So I thought it was a good platform to start to focus on. And what has really helped is, and made things easier, is repurposing content. So the same things I post on Instagram and TikTok, I post on LinkedIn as well. Depending on the content, I pick and choose, but the same things in terms of video or post, I post on LinkedIn as well. Um, so I don't have to do like double the route. I have to come up with new content for LinkedIn, because the same thing applies to the same person I'm speaking to. It's just that I'm using the same content, um, just so that I can create once and post multiple times. So that is how I use social media. I also have an email list, which I think is helpful as well, because I really know with the email list, these are people that are really interested in what I have to see, because they gave me the email, right?
Yes, yes.
So and that has been, I think it's good too, because they say all the time in terms of social media, um, at any time Instagram and all these platforms can shut down.
That's true.
Your account can get hacked, but you always have your email.
Yes, yeah, that's your own real estate.
And I have been able to have engagement and stuff in my email list as well. Um, and I think what has really helped too is when I have the bigger events. So I would have mentioned the Women's Wellness Retreat. I gain a lot of engagement and new people from that as well, because people are really interested in that event. Because it's all inclusive and it's in a nice place and that kind of thing. So people are really interested in that. So for the most part, every year when I do that, I gain new people as well, and also posting other health professionals. I gain their people who are following them
Yeah.
as well. They are introduced to me too, so that helps. And that increases engagement yearly as well. Of course, I'm continuously learning because that's one of the things with this as well. I'm a doctor. I know about health. I'm a coach, but this marketing thing is a whole new.
It's a whole
It's a
thing.
whole new thing.
That is why I exist. Shameless plug. That's why I exist. It's a whole thing, and you ain't got time for that. So that's
It's
why
a
I
whole new job to be able to do what you do as well and do that too. So I'm continuously learning and seeing what works and what doesn't, and yeah, just the same trial and error.
Okay, so as we wrap up, now, what is the one piece of advice you'd like to leave with our listeners, especially those striving to balance their health and professional commitments? What's the one piece of advice?
The one piece of advice I would leave is, even though it may be tempting to neglect the self care, forget the eating on time, the exercise, unfortunately it will catch up to you, right? These things, the self-care, the eating, nutrition, the exercise, are the things that give you energy, the energy givers, right? So if you can imagine like a car, it's only so long the car will run if the gas is on E or close to E, right? And at some point it will shut down and you'll have to go to the gas station or you'll have to ask for help, right? So I think it's important to not forget that, because those are the things that give you the energy to keep going, right? So even though it may be tempting to lose sleep to be able to finish something or to not exercise so you have extra time to do something else, try as much as possible to incorporate and to make those things a non-negotiable, because ultimately it will just lead to burnout and you resent all the things that you're focused on, and you neglected your health in some ways. So if there was one piece of advice, make the things that give you energy are non-negotiable, whatever that looks like for you. The small and the big things. And I think that helps to create balance and to give you the energy you need to do all the things and the amazing things that you want to do. So that would be my advice to everybody out there.
That's perfect. Love that. Love that as an ending thought as well. And no, just make the time. Make the time for yourself. Make yourself a priority and do what you need to do to ensure that you have a happy and healthy life. So love that. So thank you, Dr. Simone Quamina.
This was great.
Yes, this is such a great conversation. I had so many questions as I need to reel it in. Maybe you need to do a part two because there's like so many questions that I have to ask, especially going in deeper into like nutrition and going in deeper into exercise and the routines that you could incorporate
Mhm.
and then even maybe nutrition as it relates to certain um, health issues that you might have and nutrition when it comes to uh, eating around your menstrual cycle, eating around perimenopause and menopause, and there's like so many things that could affect our food that could affect or help
Yeah.
you health wise that I think would be really important for our listeners to know about. So thank you again for coming on. It's been a pleasure. And we got over time a little bit, but
That's
it's
fine.
for good. It's for good cause. All right. Well, you have an awesome, awesome day, and thanks again.
Thank you.